topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Eat and Critique Show with restaurant critics Steve-O and Sophia. Brought to you by one of Steve-O and Sophia's favorite Incontro Italian cuisine and steakhouse located on the Walk in Coral Springs. Now, sit back while award-winning restaurant critics Steve-O and Sophia share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly in South Florida dining.
Good evening and welcome to another Eat and Critique TV show. Tonight we're live at Anna's Killer Empanadas with the owner John Price and my co-host Steve-O. Welcome, John.
Well, welcome to Anna's. Unfortunately, Anna cannot be with us tonight, but so I'll do my best job pinch hitting for her.
I'm sure you're going to do really
John
well.
says honest. John protects we go Anna's. So go with honest.
I like Anna's better. And then the Killer Empanada, they are killers. We have found the best restaurant for empanadas, I believe, in Palm Beach County and maybe possibly the whole state of Florida.
Well, I like hearing that.
You know what? It's really because we have a reputation of sometimes being too honest. We don't want you wasting your money at the bad restaurants. And here we come in, and I love empanadas, and I've had some of the best. But I got to tell you, I was a little nervous coming in. It's like, what if they're not that good? I am telling you, I had the Parmesan.
The meatball.
Meatball.
Yep, delish.
And you had
Chicken curry.
curry.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
We were looking at each other, blown away, going, I mean, this is like too good to be true. How come we didn't know about this before?
And the dolce dessert, the dolce empanada dessert. Oh.
John, what made you go into empanadas? Because John is a McDonald's guy.
Well, it's my wife was born in Honduras. Anna was born in Honduras and raised in Belize. So every culture in Latin America kind of has their version of an empanada.
Right.
Some are made with a corn flour or corn masa that they call it. Some are made with a dough, a wheat dough, which are more of the Argentinian style, which is what we do. So we don't deep fry anything. But ours are made with a wheat flour dough, and then they're baked as opposed to fried. Now, here in South Florida, we have a large Venezuelan, Colombian community, and they prefer, and they bring their deep-fried empanadas, which are absolutely delicious as well. So anyway, long story short, fast forward, Anna was and still is a partner in a catering business in Beverly Hills in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So, but that business caters to Persian kosher. So a lot of meats, kebabs, but a lot of really good, authentic herbs and spices that are blended into the meats.
The Shah of Iran.
Exactly. The Shahs of Sunset. Exactly.
Yeah.
She's done parties for that.
No kidding.
Yep. So, long story short, during COVID, we decided to move back here because LA was very tough for her to have a food business in LA. So we were kind of poking around saying, what should we do? Let's do my background in food, her background in food. And I happen to know an Argentinian family in Los Angeles who's been selling empanadas for 3 generations. They're good friends. So I reached out and I said, hey, would you like to come to South Florida and join us and do something in South Florida? And at the time, he was already developing a new location. So he goes, John, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the bandwidth to get to do it. So I said, you know what? Anna and I will do it. So we were literally sitting on the beach New Year's Eve 2 years ago in Key Largo, and we said, what the heck? Let's dive in head first. So that was January 1st, and by March the beginning of March, we had opened our first location
Which is
in
Delray.
Beach.
The address?
1444 North Congress in Delray Beach. And then we opened here, our second location in West Palm, in October. So 2 restaurants within the first year.
I always like to say the address is too, 3244 South 60,
Correct.
across from Lenore's, guys.
And by the way, we love Lenore's Pizza. They're good neighbors.
Oh, okay. So, and we're going to talk about all the different flavors.
Sure.
Because you've got an amazing assortment. But I got to tell you that if you're throwing a party and everybody goes, I want to do something different, this is the place to come.
Absolutely. We do a lot of parties, a lot of catering.
I could see, and I saw that you also you can put it away in the freezer.
Take them there.
That's what I came in. I snuck in a couple of days ago. I said, they do breakfast. They open up at 9 a.m. They do breakfast. And I said, if it was this good with the meatball parmesan, I can't wait to taste the breakfast. I thought it was so good, John, what you've done with the empanadas. So if you've got like a party at the office, everybody does donuts. Bring in empanadas and the dessert ones, the mini ones.
And they have rice and beans to go with it.
The
And
rice and the beans. Yeah.
the sauces.
Sauces are all Anna's homemade.
Those were delicious.
You know what I did? Chimichurri
Chimichurri. Oh my
Sauce
gosh, that
for
was the
my breakfast empanada.
I love the chimichurri.
Oh my God, it is so good. John, you've done an amazing job.
That I have
You and
my
Anna.
the recipes. It's all Anna's recipes. So and that's really where she cut her teeth with grinding all the meats, grinding the herbs and the spices in with the meats. That's all Anna. And then she struggled with for probably about 3 months to get the dough recipes right. So she has 3 different dough recipes too. So she has her regular dough recipe.
Okay.
And every day we have 2 vegan options on the menu every day. And that's an all vegan dough, which was very difficult to dial in to have the flavor. And then we have the sweet dough for the mini dessert.
So
I actually thought they were fried. I did.
that did too,
How good they are.
because they look crispy.
Yep.
That's what I liked about them. They were very flaky.
Exactly.
They were delicious.
So let's get into flavors.
Okay.
Oh my, you've got a nice assortment. And then don't you have a special each week?
Yes. So the way we operate, so Anna has about 35 different varieties of empanadas, but it's very difficult to keep all 35 on the menu at any time. So what she does, she has 3 classics on the menu every single day. So that's a classic Argentinian style beef, which is an all Angus beef marinated in a Malbec wine.
Wow.
And it has the chopped
And it's
garlic.
Argentinian beef.
Very
The best beef out there.
You're talking about beef. I'm talking about the wine.
Yeah, a little bit of wine and give it a little bit of sweetness and to keep it moist. Then she has a classic chicken, which is, again, it's a house ground chicken blend with kind of a savory chicken broth in it. And then she also has her vegan dough veggie empanada. So those 3 are here every day.
Okay.
And then usually,
What kind of filling is in the vegan? Is it mushrooms or
not in that one.
spinach?
So the classic vegan veggie, it's 2 different types of zucchini, a little bit of shredded carrots, some cilantro and herbs and spices, then a savory vegetable broth. And then this week, our second vegan option is a very simple sautéed spinach. So what Anna does with that one, she takes the spinach, sautés it in olive oil, a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper, just very simple. But that should, and our vegan customers love it. But she has about 6 or 8 different vegan varieties that she rotates through on a regular basis.
Yeah, we understand the brisket is.
The brisket is one of our biggest sellers. So Anna will take the big 24 to 26 pound Angus beef briskets. They all get a dry rub. Then they go into the oven for 12 to 14 hours slow roasted. So then it comes out, and then if you're familiar with brisket, it always has a fat cap on it. So that fat cap comes off of it,
Okay.
and then she blends in a homemade honey barbecue sauce. And then, and then she folds that to her regular dough, but on that, she coats it with a little bit of turbino sugar, which is the raw sugar we grow here in Florida. And she puts some herbs and spices. So when you bake it, that sugar kind of melts and gives kind of a crispy coating with the herbs and spices on the outside of that empanada. And then you bite into it, you have a little bit of sweetness from that, and then a little bit of sweetness from the barbecue sauce and the brisket. It's one of my favorites.
I think that would be Margaret's.
Oh, yeah. And then you also have a ham and cheese.
Yep. So, like I said, typically each week she will rotate through 10 or 12 varieties from that menu. So our most popular flavors. So the meatball parmesan,
Yes.
which you complimented us about. The brisket. Ham and cheese is a big seller. So it's a smoked ham with 2 different types of cheeses in it. The coconut curry chicken, another one of her real big ones.
You love that.
And if you like spice, again, we know our market here
Yes.
very well. And
Is it the same in Delray
Yep.
as it's here?
Yep.
Okay.
Exact same menu, both. So we rotate the menu the same. But a lot of people would think that when we opened, we thought we'd have primarily a lot of our Latino clients. But we tend to skew probably, I'm a gringo from New York, a proud gringo from New York. So we tend to skew about 65% gringo to probably about 35% Latino. So Anna's aware of that. And a lot of our non-Latino customers, they're afraid of spice. So what she does, she keeps most of her food not spicy. That's one of the biggest questions we get when people walk in. She goes, "Oh, is this food all hot and spicy?" No.
Yeah.
But for our customers who love spice, she has a spicy chipotle chicken empanada.
Oh,
And last week, she rotated off a buffalo chicken, which has a little bit of a kick to it.
right.
And then, so any of our empanadas, Anna also makes a fiery red hot sauce, homemade sauce. So that's always available at no extra charge to put on your empanada. We like to kick up the heat a little bit.
The aroma when you come in here. It's here at 9 o'clock in the morning. You wouldn't think oh my God, the aroma is amazing.
I actually was interested in Philly steak empanada.
Right.
Like, would that be? Is it like a Philly sandwich?
Oh, the Philly cheesesteak? Yeah, so the Philly cheesesteak, Anna takes a bunch of thin steaks, slices them thin. They get fried up on the griddle. And then she does the caramelized onion, caramelized green pepper. And then she mixes it in with some herbs and spices and 2 different types of cheeses. So it's just like a Philly cheesesteak, but it's inside of an empanada. That's, again, one of the most popular ones.
Have you thought about selling wholesale?
Selling what?
Wholesale?
Oh, we do some wholesale.
The
Yep.
restaurants?
Yeah, we sell to some other restaurants. We also sell to some of the large resorts. Wholesale.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, they
Okay, yes.
because they're out of this world. We have a lot of restaurant owners that listen on the show. I'm telling you, you want to add something really unique to your menu. And I've even been to places that's all they did was empanadas.
Unique but delicious. You could go to a
Honest.
restaurant,
Blows them away.
but she does, because I've had empanadas and these were nothing like what we've had before. And this is definitely the best empanada I've ever had in my life.
Well, we got to get you some good strong coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning. We also
Oh,
do,
do you sell coffee?
yeah, we do
Okay.
cappuccino, strong coffee. We do lattes, cappuccinos here as well.
And desserts. Talk
Oh, we
about
gotta
the
talk about
different
those.
dessert options.
Yeah, so hey, everybody likes a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
At the end of a good empanada. So we do the mini dessert empanadas. Right now, she has 3 different varieties. She has the guava and cheese, which is a classic Latin combination, and she has her dulce de leche, which again
we had
is very well known in the Latin community.
Yeah.
Which creamy caramel. And then she has her all-American apple pie. So all three of those, you get your choice of pick your sweets.
I got to tell you something else that I really like. That there was a couple items that you were out of big sellers, and your staff said it's okay. We've got more in the back. We'll get it for you. Yep. Leave the meatball parmesan is so loud.
That's the other thing we always look at is the staff
Yes.
and how friendly they are, how they make you feel welcome to come in, and your staff is excellent.
Oh, thank you.
They're excellent.
Well, you guys hear that? They say our staff is excellent. So thank you.
Okay. This is a very unique place. And I am telling you, and you know what?
I know. I couldn't even eat the whole empanada. I ate a half of one. The next day. It's just
You see yourself expanding
Yes.
other locations, other menu items?
So right now we're working on. Are you guys familiar with Proper Ice Cream in Delray Beach? So there are neighbors down in Delray Beach, and we've been working with them on 3 different Anna's ice cream flavors.
Oh my God.
So we've been developing these flavors, believe it or not, for about the past 2 to 3 months. We got the flavors nailed in. We're working on the packaging right now, so we're hoping to have that the Anna's ice cream rolled out in the next probably 3 weeks or so.
funny you said that because when you were talking about the apple
Uh-huh.
empanada, I was thinking how I'd love to have
Well, I'll clue you in. So the 3 flavors.
Okay.
So we have dulce de leche ice cream. We have guava and cheesecake. Yeah.
And Belgian ice cream?
Yep. And then we have, which I really like. Do you know what Mexican churros are?
Yes.
So it's
Love churros.
it's churro cinnamon swirl. On this churro cinnamon swirl ice cream. So those are.
they have cereal.
Oh, I love it.
Subway just went to churros.
I saw that.
That's a great idea.
I want coconut.
Well, you're like me. I love anything coconut. So one of the flavors that we do on our desserts, we rotate in a pina colada.
Oh,
Maybe
yummy.
And even runs pina colada and banana. Almost pina colada and banana.
And we're looking at a freezer over here. Now, are those 6-packs?
Those are 3 packs of take and bakes.
Okay.
So the cool thing about that, a lot of people will like to come in, they'll buy it for lunch. They say, hey, I want to bring something home for dinner tonight.
Right.
Or, hey, I got a bunch of guests coming over this
Yes.
weekend. So we do the 3 packs of take and bakes. So the insides are fully cooked already. The outsides haven't been baked yet. So what you do, you take them home, you put them in your freezer. Anna has the instructions on the label, how to bake them. And she also has parchment paper to bake them on. So it just makes it easier to clean up. So you bring them home, throw them in the freezer. When your hungry guests show up, just take them out of the freezer, pop them in the oven, follow Anna's instructions, and you're serving.
The shelf life.
The shelf life on those, we recommend no more than 90 days.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yep.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about on the show tonight, and I want people to know who you are. You come out of the food industry, and you've been very successful. It is really sad what's going on with restaurants.
It's tough today because
The Red Lobster, we were talking Burger Pie.
Yep.
What is going on?
Well, I'll tell you, small restaurants, well, even the big restaurants are getting hit from a lot of different angles. Everyone's aware of inflation.
Yes.
The cost of everything has gone up. Our raw products, there are certain raw products that we here use every day that since we opened a year and a half ago, some of the raw products are up over 40%.
Yes.
Yep. Not only that, but all of your packaging, because all the packaging, unfortunately, today comes out of China. So all of the costs of your paper goods, all of your knives and your forks and your bags and your packaging, your boxes, all that has gone up dramatically too. In a lot of cases, we've seen in the past year 50 to 60% increases in our paper goods costs. So you got to manage that. The cost of labor is up,
Yes.
but it's mainly food costs and a lot of, in certain markets, a lot of government regulation. Now, I also consult a lot as well for the franchise industry.
Aren't you glad you're not in Los Angeles anymore?
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
Wages going up.
So,
Aren't they saying they want them over $20 an
yeah,
hour?
so what happened, in the state of California, a lot of other states are looking at it right now. They're saying that, okay, if your restaurant is part of a national chain, and that chain has more than 65 locations, you need to pay an entry wage of $20 an hour. Now, here's from a restaurant owner's point of view, and someone who was part of a large national franchise chain. I was a McDonald's franchisee for many years in New York. It's not Mr. McDonald's that is the business owner. It's the local guy or woman who owns that restaurant. So they're not penalizing the guy sitting in the Golden Arches in corporate headquarters. They're penalizing the local business owner. And that's the beauty of the franchise system, is that, yeah, you're buying onto a national brand and a national idea, but we're local business people.
Right.
We're out there, we're in their communities. And when I had my McDonald's franchises in New York, I was out, I was contributing to all the softball teams, the little league teams, the local homeless shelters, the YMCA's, the local, we had the Boys and Girls Club. We donated to.
National would have turned them down.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the local guy.
We're out doing that and bringing opportunities, especially in small towns. Everybody kind of thinks of New York City and the big bright lights. No, I mean, there are these franchises in small towns across the United States. I was in small towns in upstate New York, as we were talking about before, and we were a big employer there. Without us, a lot of the young people didn't have opportunity. And I will tell you, my 15-year, 16-year career with McDonald's, I had a lot of employees who started with me as 16-year-old, 15-year-old kids wiping tables. Those young people are still there now. Wow. 15, 16 years later, a lot of them work for the corporation as district supervisors. Some of them have gone on to be general managers who are making six figures, who have no college education, would have never had opportunities in those small towns if it wasn't for brands like McDonald's and some of the other national franchises and the local business owners who brought those to those towns.
It's so amazing that you said that, John, because I used to tell people I can't get a job out of college. I always said McDonald's. And I said, you know what? You might start off at the bottom, work your way up.
Yep.
Become assistant manager, become manager. Don't look at it as an entry-level job. I said, one thing I'll tell you about, you stay with it, you're going to grow with them. And, kids nowadays, they want to go to president, right away.
Or not.
Right in college, become the CEO.
Or not. They don't know what work is anymore. I'm sorry.
So, and the nice thing about the franchise was they probably already made all the mistakes that you could possibly make, and you didn't have to pay for that.
And it's funny, it's funny you mentioned that. So as I say, I consult with franchises as well. So when somebody comes to me, and most people who go into a franchise today are people who maybe had a corporate job somewhere, and they're getting to maybe 15, 20 years in the corporation and thinking, what am I going to do next? So most of them have, some sort of money saved up, whether it be in a 401k or something. So they think, okay, well, do I want to go out and start my own business from scratch? Or should I pay the additional money and become a franchisee? My advice to them is, okay, at this point in your life, maybe they're in their late 40s, early 50s. I said, what's the most valuable asset you have? He said, oh, my house, my this, my that. I said, no, your time. It's your time. Because at 50-some years old, late 40s, early 50s. Do you want to go out and reinvent the wheel and possibly make all the mistakes? Because all those mistakes are going to cost you money and time. And so find a good, reputable franchise, because I'll tell you, there's some that are not great, but there are a lot of franchises out there that you can walk in the door. They help you get all of your business established. You're buying into an established program. And at that point, you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your energy. And to your point, those mistakes have already been made and corrected by somebody else. Learn from their mistakes.
Do you see yourself franchising these?
We've had a lot of inquiries.
I tell you what,
I can see it. I can see it.
you know what? I learned as I franchised one of my businesses. Very expensive.
It is. Yep.
Oh my, the legal fees. Oh my God. And I tried to go around it.
No, you can't. Because it's regulated by the federal government in a lot of the states.
Could not go around it at all. Let's talk about your hours.
Sure. Okay. So
7 days a week?
7 days a week. Here in West Palm, because we're more in a high traffic, let's call it downtown area. So we're open, we open at 9 in the morning, and weekdays, with the exception of Friday, we close at 8. Friday and Saturday, we close at 9. And on Sundays, we're 10 to 6. Delray, where we are, we're more a lot of corporate parks and housing communities in Delray. So there we close a little bit earlier because at night there's not as much traffic there. So Delray, we open at 9 in the morning. We close at 7 weeknights. And then Saturdays, because Saturdays tend to be slower over there at night, we close at 6. And Sunday, we're open 10 to 5.
And then talk about like the different trays that you have offered, like the 6-pack, like roadside. There's different options. that you
Sure.
recommend.
So, I mean, one of the questions people ask when they walk in the door, oh, can I buy one? Can I buy two? Sure. Yep. Just come in and buy one. I guarantee you'll be back for more.
Yes. Yes.
So then we have
That's back to me.
And the
That's back to me.
we have discounts on 3-packs, 6-packs, and 12-packs. We also have a family meal, which is 6 empanadas and 3 sides. And then we also do combo meals where you get 2 empanadas, a side, and a drink, which is really popular during lunchtime.
Oh my
what are
God.
the sides that you have that you can offer?
We have Anna's homemade black beans, and we also have her homemade cilantro, rice with cilantro. So now here's the cool thing. So we do a lot of catering. You had mentioned wholesaling before, but we do a tremendous amount of catering. What's very popular with our catering are all of our regular flavors, but Anna will do them in a mini size. So they're perfect for like tray passes, or you're having a party where you want to put out a bunch of hors d'oeuvres. This way people, because our empanadas are big, I think.
Yes.
You know,
I got full.
yeah. So
And you know what? With your empanadas, a lot of them you taste more dough than the inside.
Mhm.
Yours are completely opposite.
and that's been our philosophy since day one. You're buying an empanada for the filling. The crust is very important, but you don't want all crust. And you know, I like to joke, people are like, oh, I've never seen an empanada like this. And I'm like, yeah, where have you been getting your empanadas? Well, at the gas stations.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you get the gas station empanadas, it's all dough and no filling.
Exactly.
So, but to your point, yeah, they're bigger. So for parties, a lot of people like our mini size because then people can, you know, give me a chicken one, give me a brisket one, give me the meatball one, give me a veggie one, and they can sample the different trays. So that's our most popular catering item, are the mini size empanadas.
This is a wonderful restaurant. Sophia found this place, and it was like most of your finds are just absolutely amazing. And I tell you what, our listeners, if it's good, it doesn't matter how far you are.
We have people coming from Broward.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, you know, if you're living in Jupiter, come over here. It does.
It's not that far, really. We're centrally located.
But you know what, though? The places that we give you are places that somewhat get driving. The prices are wonderful. I was shocked. Remember, I told you, I said, you can't get a sandwich
I
for
was
that.
just
anymore.
getting ready to ask you to share the pricing because it's incredible. They're what, $5.19?
Yep, 519, but
And
then
they're
if you,
that big, guys. They're
If
that big.
if you buy them in the multi-packs or discounts on the 3 packs, the 6 packs, and the 12 packs, off the top of my head, I forgot what the price is, but you do get a discount. Let me, one
You
other
should bring
thing.
over.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter which one.
Let me-
Let's see, because I'm not exaggerating. They're
Let me bring
Not-
over Philly cheese.
that big. They're really like that big. So again, listeners, we're at Anna's Killer Empanadas here in West Palm, 3244 South 60. It's right across from Lenora's. And it's a small little restaurant. It has 3 tables and a long, like, table that looks out
Like a hiking.
high top. You can take out, you can eat here.
Oh, look at this.
Okay. So this is a Philly cheesesteak.
Look at, how much you look at.
And it's filled to the brim. And
Yes.
it's like every bite, you get a filling, not
This is
just
ham and
the-
cheese. So what I love about the ham and cheese is that when you open it,
Oh, it gushes.
Ooh,
Oh,
look at that.
you get all the stringage, the cheeses, it melts, really delicious. Yummy.
Wow.
Finger looking good. All right, and then the Philly cheesesteak just, and the Philly cheesesteak,
That's what I think Margaret would like.
you can see the
Rebel, are you getting hungry,
Oh my
Rebel?
God.
cheese, all the.
Wow. Look
All
at
the
that.
lovely cheeses that come out. There you go.
Take a bite.
Look how big it is.
Now, now let me
Look
get
at the chunks of, look
all
at
the
that.
chunks of
The meat, the chunks,
steak in there.
unbelievable.
So there's a right way and a wrong way to eat an empanada.
Oh, she was right. Probably did it.
Oh, my
Especially
God.
one of Anna's empanadas.
Okay,
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is what I did. You want to tear it open.
okay.
And then you eat it because each empanada has a coating on the top of it, a unique coating. So the Philly cheesesteak has a baked cheese coating on the top of the empanada
Wow.
and some herbs on that. So what you do, you bite it, but you want to have this part down on your tongue.
See, I almost did that when we were here, but then I thought that would have been the wrong way to eat it. Now we know. We tear it in half
That's the way to do it.
with the spices.
There you go.
Look
You want
at
to try
this.
one?
Oh, you want one?
I don't eat on there.
I'm gonna try
I
the,
don't eat
There he
on
is.
there. That's one I was like, whatever.
So that's the Philly cheesesteak.
wow, this is the one I wanted before.
It's hot.
Oh my God. Rebel, we're gonna email you one.
Oh my God.
Rebel's in Louisiana.
That's delicious. The Philly steak.
It's always good with a little side of Anna's homemade
the
chimichurri.
Yeah.
So let me get you some napkins.
Let me show you this. This is delicious. It changes the whole empanada. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
chimichurri is like one of my favorite anyway. I love it. And look, it's almost all spices. You know, sometimes you get it and it's all oil. This shows like the quality, in my opinion. When you have this many herbs and just the taste of the oil with it. This is
So
really-
Steve-O, did you have the ham and cheese, right? Yep. Very, very popular. Very simple, but it's good ingredients.
That's what I wanted last time
Yes,
with that meatball.
but then you kept looking at the meatball. And I kept trying to decide, and I ended up with the coconut curry.
You know what it
Anything
is?
with coconut.
It's like coming into a 31 flavors,
Yeah,
and you go, "Oh my God,
What do I take? What do I choose this time?
This is how it is."
Mhm.
You got this real nice display cabinet. It's got no 4, 8, 12, 14 different items to choose from. And what's so nice about it, you can't make a mistake. Close your eyes and point.
I also like it because I feel like I'm eating a home cooked meal versus some of these restaurants that you go to and you can tell they're just whipped it
I was
together.
wondering about the crust. You answered
Yeah.
my question.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Each
a
one's different then.
yep. So some of them have the same
Yeah.
coating on them. So as I was saying before, the brisket, she has that turbino sugar with some herbs and spices. The vegetable, the vegans, she has a vegetable egg wash. She has a couple of very colorful herbs. I forget what they are myself, but that gives that a little more flavor. The classic empanadas have a nice oregano coating to them. So yeah, she tries to come up with a different style of empanada coating for each one. But I got to tell you a funny story. You said you really like the meatball.
Yes.
So
Parmesan,
yep. So me being a guy from New York,
right?
I grew up eating good Italian meatballs. So when Anna and I were starting the business and talking about recipes, they said, "Well, we got to have a meatball parmesan." She's like, "Oh, you're crazy," because she was thinking of going more the Latin style. So I said, "No. We're South Florida. We've got to do that." So I made up my meatball recipe, and we put it in there, and it was it was okay. So then her mom happened to be visiting us from Honduras. So her mom still lives in Honduras. She was visiting for a couple of weeks. So her mom goes, "Try my meatballs." So her mom makes up her meatballs. I try it. The first batch, I'm like, I'm done. I was out meatballed by your mother from Honduras.
The New Yorker with
Yep.
all the Italians around.
And the funny thing you mentioned that. So in Delray, our neighbor in one of the stores near us, he's a diehard New Yorker from Long Island. He walks in when we open the business. He goes, "I'm never going to buy your meatball. I can't be good." I'm like, "Larry, listen, they're really good." I said, "I'm from New York. You're from New York." I said, Long Island." I said, "Yeah." Larry's, no. About a month later, he came back and he goes, "John, my wife bought them." He said, "Best meatballs I've ever had."
Wow,
They were.
that's a nice
They were.
compliment.
They
Okay,
were.
so I have an idea. Probably already thought of this. This would make for a great pepperoni pizza.
We've already done that.
See?
What about a gyro?
That's on the
You guys
rotating
say
menu.
gyro.
Really? Oh my God.
What about a Greek one?
We've been thinking about it.
I don't think it'd be any good.
Well, because Anna's background with the Mediterranean food, she knows how to do that well.
Okay.
So it's just, is there enough of a demand? But she has a couple of things up her sleeve.
When I first talked to John, I was laughing and teasing, going, "Anna looks spooky." Could see,
Oh.
can't see, and he said, "That's how she looks." And I'm like, "Boy, we meet her at a Halloween party." So tell us.
Oh,
about
the story.
that.
So, again, I'm a gringo from New York. So I was on a consulting project in Los Angeles. I was out there for about a year on a project. So I got invited to this party in Beverly Hills. And, so there's this pretty lady, taking care of the party and very well dressed, because when she's there, she's the one with all the clients and everything.
Right.
So I start talking to her and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Hey, I'm single, blah, blah, blah." Blah, blah, blah. So I said, "Do you want to meet for lunch?"
Blah, blah, blah.
So we met for lunch, and it was really funny because she showed up and she had been in her kitchen in the catering business in Los Angeles. So she shows up for lunchtime and and she was wearing a white shirt that had all food stains all over it.
Oh,
And, when you're in the kitchen, the smell of the
Yes.
food, and she goes, hey, we'll have coffee and we'll talk, and we had a good time. And she goes, hey, if I get a second date out of this, he sees me as I am, a food lady. And me being in restaurants, I didn't mind.
Right.
So second date, she's like, well, why don't we go to the Dia de los Muertos festival this weekend at the Hollywood Cemetery? Are you familiar?
Never heard of
It's just the Day of the Dead celebration, which is really big in Latin countries. And in Los Angeles, with its huge Mexican population, they do this massive festival every year in the Hollywood Cemetery, where people build these massive, flower-filled altars and lights and music and food and dancing. I didn't know this.
Like Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly. But, down there. And so I'm like, okay, well, she's inviting me to a cemetery on a Saturday night. I mean, what am I getting myself into? So she failed to tell me that people show up to this in full costume. So she comes and, knocks at my door, 4:30 on that Saturday. And it's like, okay, well, I'm ready to go. And that's what she was wearing.
That's what she was wearing.
In that costume. So fast forward to doing our business a year ago, we're working with a logo designer, and the logo designer said, well, send me some pictures, let's talk about this, talk about that. I took photos of her in that costume that day, and the logo designer saw that. She goes, we got to use that costume, that look. And it has since stuck.
It's great.
And then I'm on the Vespa, which, the old, 1960s Vespa,
You know what I like about it? She was herself. She wasn't trying to impress.
No.
She was herself, which so many people aren't like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to be her.
And Anna's very camera shy, so she does not like me taking her picture.
Aw, and then, but she's very beautiful.
Absolutely.
Let's do the address again. Folks, I'm telling you, you want to come over here. Yeah, I won't be able to see how many minutes we have.
Well, adjust the camera level so that it's okay.
Let's give out the address again for both locations.
Okay, so here in West Palm, we're at 3244 South Dixie Highway, and we are between Southern Boulevard and Belvedere, right across the street from the very famous Lenore's Pizza, which, by the way, they have, as far as I'm concerned, some of the best pizza around here. So make sure
a lot of people ordering
They
pizza
were
from there.
doing pizza.
So make sure you see our friends at Lenore's as well.
Okay.
These advertising for them.
And then in Delray, we're off the strip. We're not on the avenue. In Delray, we're at 1445 North Congress Avenue, and we're just north of Lake Ida.
Oh, okay.
And
I know that center.
Yeah. So down there, we have our very large kitchen down there. So
Everything.
everything is made from scratch down in Delray. And she's got a really good crew of ladies in the kitchen. They're making all the ingredients from scratch, and then they hand fold all the empanadas, which is still, you go to a lot of empanada places today. All their empanadas are machine made. We're still handmade with the empanadas, and I think it comes through in what we do. And you saw the size of these, and so. Yeah, the ladies down there are amazing, and they're in the kitchen 7 days a week down there making empanadas for us.
So do they have to sign a waiver that they're not allowed to steal her recipes?
Yeah, that's commonplace today in restaurants. So,
Because I would love to learn.
well, next time we'll get on it here. She'll teach you how to make them.
Because this crust, I'm telling you, is amazing.
Yeah.
It's very flaky. It's not dry.
You
And
know
the
what? I've
filling.
been going all the way over to Miami, this place that I swore had the best empanadas. It's funny, John said about the gas stations. There are a lot of gas stations that have empanadas, even 7-Elevens, don't you? But you have never had an empanada like this. I will never go to Miami again.
It's funny, that was where I had my first empanada and I didn't know what it was. And the lady's like, it was all dough. This is all filling. Every bite you have is,
I'm going to tell you, Publix makes an empanada. It is, all you taste is dough. That's it. It's all you taste. And Anna has just captured a true empanada.
well, I think the title's perfect.
Yeah.
It is Killer Empanadas, and then I wrote, and they are killers. Because
Do
they
you remember the
are
first time you had an empanada?
Yes, actually in Los
in the
Angeles.
cemetery. And how is the gringo dressed like this?
Yeah, like me,
Looking
you know.
at you going,
But no, it's and people ask us a lot about the killer. So that comes out of kind of the Southern California, the surfer culture.
Yeah.
Because out there, you hang around
Killer
some of the
waves.
killer waves. It's like, oh, dude, man, I was a killer. Hey, when we're done, let's go get some killer burgers up there. Killer fish tacos. Oh, man, I was a killer fish taco. So that's kind of where the name came from. And then the whole, the Dia de los Muertos logo and everything, it all kind of came together
I like
for
it.
us.
I like it.
This is one of our best shows.
Well, it was interesting because we learned a lot about franchising. We learned a lot about politics. We learned a lot about restaurant owners. I mean, it's not just the empanadas. It was kind of interesting to
to,
hear.
Culinary school. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted my own restaurant.
Mhm.
And the first day of class, they said, we want you to make sure this is what you want to do because you would not believe the amount of hours. John shaking his head. And he said, not only the hours, but the pay is not great. And you're going to have so many headaches. They did everything they could to talk us out of it. So I want my own restaurant, going through with it. And my first job out of school was a sous chef. I was pretty impressed. And I had the breakfast, which means prepping, which means 4:00 in the morning. Chopping, but the thing that changed my mind is when he said, go out there and do the vegetable truck. I went, sous chef. He said, I don't care what you are. You're going to go out there every morning and empty the. And I said, this is not anything. There's nothing glamorous about this at all.
Now, my grandparents owned several restaurants, and I don't think they had a life. They would go in at 3 and 4 and leave and
It's a tough business.
Yeah,
It is.
very.
And people, you see, I don't even see how you do a menu with the way prices change so often.
Yeah, you just have to stay on top of it, and stay on top of your vendors too.
Yeah.
You got to be careful of a lot of vendors out there.
So
But
I'm sorry, you guys, but we only have like 2 minutes.
I know.
This went like so fast.
The name of the restaurant is Anna's. See, I got it. Anna's Killer Empanadas, and they are
Killers.
Go
They
to
are.
one of the locations. If you're having a party, this is the best place to do a party, and
Or lunch or dinner
you're going to see us
or
on
breakfast.
iHeart, YouTube, Spotify, and soon is TikTok. I guess that's it for us.
No, you go ahead and say the addresses one more time, John.
Well, West
and
Palm,
your
yep,
hours and
absolutely.
phone number.
So West Palm Beach is 3244 South Dixie Highway, and that's between Southern and Belvedere, right across from Lenore's Pizza. We're open 7 days a week. Monday, there's a picture of us there. Monday, there's some of the empanadas. So Monday through Thursday, we're 9 to 8. Friday, Saturday, 9 to 9, and Sunday, 10 to 6. In Delray, we are at 1445 North Congress Avenue, just north of Lake Ida Road. And we're open there Monday through Friday till 9 to 7. Saturday, we're 9 to 6. And then Sunday, we are 10 to 5 over there.
Thank you, listeners. Welcome. We'll see you guys.
Well, thank you
next
guys.
week. Thank you, John.
Thank
That
you,
was
John.
very
Great
good.
job.
You know,
We'll see you all
I
next
can sit
week.
and talk food all the time.
Thanks
See you
again,
next
Rebel.
Monday. Thank you, Rebel.
We'll see you next
Good
Monday.
night. She's looking at the
You've been listening to the Eaton Critique Show with your hosts, award-winning restaurant critics Steve-O and Sophia, brought to you by Incontro Italian Cuisine and Steakhouse, located in Coral Springs on the Walk. Be sure to join us again next week as Steve-O and Sophia interview top local restaurant owners and chefs. Steve-O and Sophia are known for their pure honesty when it comes to reviewing local restaurants. See you next week.
Talks about, exactly what we were talking about here, that